He gave me $5 for coffee. It's not bad. Oh, some of them youngins, well, one of them in specific, he's kind of a little twit. He gave me a sandwich last night, which was nice of him. He also does the loud and boisterous ass wipe routine. But when he sees me by myself, he talks to me like I'm a person. Even give me all of his change. Last night he was gonna steal some girl's change and give it to me. I was like, Danell Boggs is, well, she used to work for TFCC. Now at least a dozen other people here have warned me about TFCC. And then those very same people that warned me about TFCC send me to TFCC because that's where they've been sent. What happened when they were sent to TFCC? TFCC didn't do nothing. Sent them around in circles for therapy. Now we got the government trying to make it easier to become a therapist. Are you fucking kidding me? We got a lot of crazy people playing as therapists. I even recorded a few of them on my channel. One of the things that I see frequently out here, I see the people who take all the blame. And the people who are taking the blame aren't the people committing the crimes. We got a lot of old women with jobs getting blamed for young women who are selfish and self-absorbed. We got a lot of men out here who are being harmed because of things that men in houses did. Dr. Danell Boggs, what does she do as a mandated reporter for those of us out here that are at risk? She makes a profit with your U.S. tax dollars. And the services here in Tillamook, just like services anywhere else, they're going to go to locals, and primarily locals in houses. The rest of us are how they make their money. When it comes to mandated reporting, for any one of these agencies to do their job as a mandated reporter, it may take 2 to 5 hours. There have been mandated reporters when I was younger that literally had to sit with a victim and police for a full 8 hours before they could go home. So what do mandated reporters do today? They want to set you up for an appointment, a 50-minute appointment for therapy. And then they have someone else lined up immediately after you for 50 minutes of therapy. They get 10 minutes in between each patient. And they do that all month long. 3/4 of those people are telling these mandated reporters things that they are mandated to report on. Why are there so many homeless people out here that aren't getting help? It's not that we're not getting help, it's we're not getting the help that we need. These mandated reporters aren't doing their jobs. They're trying to fleece the American public for more tax dollars. And that includes Dr. Danell Boggs here in Tillamook. She's not the only one. You can hear in my recordings with her, as well as with the other people at TCCHC, that they weren't interested in doing their jobs at any point. You also get to hear from many other people here in Tillamook on my channel speaking about that very same situation. Not just at TCCHC, but also at Tillamook Family Counseling Center. When we have to go to the police because we're harmed, they send us to mental health, like TFCC. Meanwhile, police officers as well are mandated reporters. This isn't optional reporters. This isn't maybe if I feel like it reporters. These are people who are paid to do a job, and this is the most important part of their job. Mandated reporting. This is why we have 911. So that we can turn in crime. Then you get to hear how the people on 911 dispatch don't care. They work for the sheriff's department. And we got plenty of officers here that are harm people in front of me. Like Tillamook Sheriff's Deputy Officer Reeves assaulted a 14-year-old girl right out here in the parking lot. That ain't okay. Even more important than that is that 14-year-old girl was trying to turn in her stepfather for abuse. That's recorded on my channel as well. There's also the way that Officer Reeves and several other officers in this county have taken part in threatening and harassing the people who were witness to that. Well, it's not like it's an easy thing to hide. It's on my YouTube channel. Look it up. Tillamook Sheriff's Deputy assaults 14-year-old girl. You see the assault, and then you can hear the people from TFCC conspiring with her stepfather and her mother to have her committed on suicide watch. She wasn't saying she was trying to kill herself. She was saying she was trying to turn in her stepdad. By the way, one of the witnesses that was there, I recently encountered, and he let me know that man's name too. I feel bad for anybody with the Robinson last name. There are things that you just don't do. Now, thank goodness that 14-year-old girl was able to get out of here. She's in a different county, different jurisdiction where she's reasonably safe. But that doesn't do anything for the other victims of these officers. See, they didn't just assault that 14-year-old girl that day. They destroyed a lot of people's trust. How can the public trust the police officers who are assaulting 14-year-old girls? How can the public trust that if a child is being abused, that child won't be assaulted for trying to turn it in? And it wasn't just her. She had two friends down here doing the same thing, trying to help turn in her stepdad. And again, what I was told, Officer Reeves is her uncle. So does that make it okay for him being a gun-toting, badge-wearing mofo? Does that make it okay for him to assault her the way that he did? No. Matter of fact, the fact that he's her uncle means that it's a felony for him to carry a badge or a gun anymore, because that's domestic assault, whether it happens in public or not. It's not okay. Now, the stepdad has seen me on multiple occasions and threatened me and harassed me on multiple occasions, as well as harassing at least one of the other witnesses. Darn right I speak up. I'm not talking about alien conspiracies here or Sasquatch. I'm not claiming that I've got some alien CIA probe raid making my decisions for me. No, these are very simple motivations. Daddy can't keep his hands to himself. That's a pretty simple motivation. That's a simple motivation for her to turn it in as well. It's a simple motivation for her to go to her friends and ask them for help the way that she did. So the other day I had to so I didn't know. For not every time it's gonna have to get in front of her.
Yeah. Well, lucky for you, I see TikToks like every week where they're like putting in the different songs.
That is a good list.
It's so funny.
The fact that I know that the exact ones exactly, that is a good list.
Yep.
Really heavily rendered 3D video of a dog with a plane seeing a sky dog or something. I forget.
Dog and plane. Oh, dog and plane. Dog.
Okay, I was like, God, no. Yeah, it's weird. It was just from the time where they were behind them.
Excuse me, could I get a triple non-fat organic vegan water
Oh no.
with tap ice?
Tap ice.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of talk of like internet story.
No.
Like how
But actually,
Discord.
I already thought that was a bad idea. I'll let you read my mind this time.
But like Discord, you can't do that. Like
Which is part of the reason why this place for a lot of the reason why forum fell out popularity is they got reported and everyone was like, oh, these
Alright,
are
so do
friends.
you have the magic brown packages out there and little things out there yet?
We
Or is
do
it-
not. Those are unfortunately not coming back. We don't have a sugar bar anymore.
What? So I have to beg you for sugar too?
Yeah.
Alright, that's just inappropriate. I'm gonna ask Brandon because it won't come across as inappropriate. I wouldn't want to offend any of the pastries.
Here you go. We'll have it out there for you.
Maybe you do too. Hey Brandon,
Yeah.
can I get 10 sugar and raw packages? Thank you. Oh my god.
I
There's
know.
people who hang out at the place where people who can read hang out.
Is that all you got, Colin? Yes. Oh, then we're good to go. Oh, no, we're ready to rock and roll. Okay. Waiting on you. All right.
Yeah, you guys get the
Yeah, there's like too many people there. I don't want to cut through them.
She was working, I complained that she spelled my name right. So she spelled it wrong this time. Right? It's a lot funnier when the monkey does it on TV, but when it's my hand stuck in my own pocket, it's just not cool. And thank you for writing my name wrong this time. I only had to complain like 3 or 4 times, but you finally got it. boy voice.
What's that?
I said, you gotta use your big boy voice. I barely heard you and I'm standing right here. Is there a Victor?
But I don't know if I come back to her. One more.
Can we get a couple stoppers, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I was told I have a face for radio, and I took it as a compliment.
Here's the water shade. If you want a straw.
Alright, man, that's good.
I'm still waiting on my triple non-fat organic vegan water.
Yo, I'm getting there. Almost done. It's not candy there. It's one there.
I was just talking trash. I'm not actually in a hurry.
You need more strict.
I do, and a stir stick. Apparently, I threw mine away because I'm intelligent like that.
Thanks. I appreciate you. Have a good day.
You know, the two people I always look for when I come into the store is Cynthia, and there's a lady who works at the Starbucks named Krista. And I always look for those two when I come in. That's mostly because they're the ones that talk to me the most.
Oh no. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
you know what? I saw that on TV once. They called it card pickup. Apparently, they took out the jokers. It's tough to encourage proper sniffing technique, especially with a puppy. Were you being rude?
No, she was.
No, she was drowning.
Oh.
Big difference.
No, she offered jerky. Or he.
You offered jerky.
Yeah.
What's the dog's name?
Crimson.
Crimson? Like the Crimson Tide?
Yep.
Or like the Crimson Avenger?
Like the color.
Hello, Crimson. My name is Sean David Schwartz, and it is a pleasure to meet you.
Want to give us a baby jerky?
No, absolutely not. I have never, ever, ever used food to love on a dog. I've always trained them without food. Food is not a reward. Food is a necessity. And a lot of times you might want your dog to do something, and if you don't have that food to encourage them with it, then they might decide not to do it next time because they have brains and they're not stupid.
Yeah.
And when you teach them to be food motivated, they'll always be food motivated. Whereas if they always know they're getting fed no matter what, it's easier to teach them with love. Much better. Much better. Much better. I didn't learn to speak to dogs until I was like 28 years old. But it's funny because they speak the same language as cats.
Yeah?
It's mostly body language and touch. If you want to let your dog know that your dog's doing something wrong, no matter who it is, Crimson or otherwise, one of the things is sharp sound. It's
Yeah.
a good one. There's also taking your fingers like this, and you see this part on the quarter haunches right here. Poke her right there with it. Firm, but not like trying to bruise her. Like a mother would do with her nose.
Yeah.
Or like a dog would do to a cat when it wants the cat to run so it can chase. That's what you do. You do it right here. When you say I love you to a dog, you do it right underneath the jowls right here. And also you can scratch them right here to let them know that you do care about them. There's a couple little spots that they can't get to right there and right there in each ear. Also underneath here can be rather difficult. And always underneath the collar is a good spot.
Look at that beautiful dog.
Yeah.
That'd be a dog to have. So no one would mess with you. Watch a police officer walking up to you with that dog in your hand.
She looks like a red-nosed pit. Although there's something in there, I just can't tell what it is. I mean, she looks like a full-blood pit, but I mean... Oh, they're nanny. So what percentage German Shepherd is she?
I'm pretty sure 100%.
I don't know about that. Her coloration's wrong. She's got a good face on her, and the coloration,
I'm not sure. You didn't tell me exactly what she was. Or he.
what do they call that? I'm trying to remember the name of the pattern that they have on the back. She has a good strong pattern, but just not the colors. Miss Crimson, what is that nastiness you got all over your ears?
I'm not exactly sure. He was rolling around in the dirt earlier.
Oh, he?
Yeah, it's a he.
Why did he give you a girly name? Oh wait, we're in the modern century. I'm sorry for assuming your gender.
Oh my god, you should have seen it. Like, almost everyone assumed it was a girl. I thought it was a girl. I kept calling her or baby. I wanted to name him Baby.
It's them big ol' eyelashes. It's gotta be. Cause see, look, she looks like, or he looks like he's got makeup on her, mascara.
Yeah.
That's about the only place other than tail where there's any coloration. Oh, the white tip. Thank you. Thank you. Very good. You are a sweetie. And you're not pulling, and you're not yanking, and you're not being disrespectful, and that is not yours. See? Pretty easy. They're also easy to direct them to where you want them to look. And giving them
Yeah, I was
love
watching
is
a
good.
video on YouTube. A guy has a German Shepherd that is trained to attack if he gets attacked. And the dog always stays on his side. It can either say like a noise and the dog will only look at him, say another noise, the dog will only look at the other person or the ball.
So one of the things is when they're her age, they're really super excited about getting loving, especially if you withhold it for, 3
Oh
to
my
5
god, you
hours.
should see me at the courthouse. I was loving on there, and she dragged me a different angle I was not prepared for, and she started dragging on the ground. I was like, oh my god.
Well, you can teach her like to stay on your hip. One of the things you teach her to put her shoulder against the side of your leg when you're walking, and not put tension on the leash.
Yeah.
That right there will help her to get into a
Yeah, that's what my other dog did.
protective mode, basically.
I would say it would be easier to train them as little puppies.
Well, even at her age, it'll work.
Training. Sprinkling.
This is not rain.
Well, I gotta go.
All right, be safe, Eli. You guys are cute too.
I think.
Well, I guess beauty's in the eye of the beholder. My name is Sean. May I pet them?
Yeah.
Your name is what?
I'm Tim.
Tim?
This is Rosie.
Tim. Hello, Rosie.
Rosie, settle down. You get really rambunctious.
That's all right. I can hover a little bit. She doesn't feel the need to pull.
I was just looking at the lockbox over there, trying to figure out what good it does to have a fancy locking system like that and leave the box open.
I think that's an emergency shut off or something.
No, that's the for closing the gate.
Ah,
That's the new gate box.
that looked just like the emergency shut off that we had at the gas station.
Yeah, you'd think.
Oh, hello, Rosie. Oh, yeah. See, you don't even have to stand up to get your booty scratched. And then you get the...
She never does. He was gonna go out here and hold a sign, but I don't even feel like doing that.
So is she a pure red nose?
Yeah. I don't know if you know Katie Nedro.
No.
She's got a breed on some neatards, that's what she came from.
I feel bad every time somebody says the name of that town.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because it's spelled Netter,
Yeah.
which sounds socially acceptable. But when you call them a bunch of neatards, it's like you're saying they're midgets with Down syndrome.
Never heard that one.
Well, you are very sweet, Miss Rosie. I heard you growl at that young man.
Not animal friendly. Very people friendly, but not animal friendly.
Well, he's a young male, and they're annoying.
She just doesn't like cats. We got a Maine Coon, and she raised it. That's the only cat she'll tolerate.
Oh, you know exactly what you're doing. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a little too old to play like that, though. I'm
Rosie,
really too
settle
old to
down.
play.
Hey,
All right. She did pretty good at that.
you gotta watch her in the heat because she gets too wound up, and they're prone for strokes.
Yeah, they are. And them ones are prone to a lot more than that.
But
Liver
he
problems,
takes so
liver
much
juice.
more with the heat and all that. My white chihuahua I used to have, she used to climb under the cushions of the couch when it was hot out. Climb in there, just under a blanket, always covered up.
He's definitely old. He's acting like a Pomeranian
He's
instead
about
of a
11, but he
Chihuahua.
acts like he's about 3. When we're walking, he thinks everything's a game. He thinks everything's got to run and prance to, just like, oh, look at me. And stop every 30 feet to pee.
Are you
Gotta
just
mark
gonna?
everything. Oh, come on, Russ.
In Nebraska, I had an animal rescue, and sometimes we had dogs that had to mark everything, and I had to train them. That's not yours. That's not yours.
God. Rosie, enough. Settle down. Now. Hey, settle down. God damn. You gotta go run. You gotta go run.
Oh wow! Somebody left a decent snipe over here.
Yeah, I know. I've been eyeballing that. I got a half a pack in my pocket, so I haven't even worried about it.
Oh good. Can I steal
Grab
it
it,
then?
man. Woohoo! Rosie, settle down now.
I like you better than the cigarette. But
I don't know. Sometimes I need cigarettes just to deal with her.
oh,
God,
that's
I'm
how
with
I
her
feel about my
24/7.
mom. That's one of the things people don't get about cars and dogs out here. Like it's not just that if you go to jail, your dog goes to jail.
Exactly.
It's also the fact that they're not going to kill you if you go to jail.
Right.
They might kill your dog.
In a hurry, especially a pit bull.
So,
I've been so worried about that because I used to be notorious for, every 3 months I'd be in jail. And when I finally got shit straightened out in the line, now the old lady left, I'm like, paranoid's coming back. I'm like, are they gonna pick me up? I got arrested for 2 hours down. And my old lady didn't believe me until she came down to the parole office with me one time from Portland. I'm like, what? She's got a phobia going in there because they're fucking, they're beating.
yeah.
Oh, they don't do that. They don't do that. And one time she came down with me to get them.
It's a different world for men than it is for
Snuck me in
women.
behind a door and fucking like two women. Puerto Rico and fucking Puerto Rico. And they took a lash on me like nobody's business behind closed doors. Well, they stood outside and looked at every bit of it.
Yeah, I got a lot of the crimes committed by the cops in this town actually recorded. I got a YouTube channel. Officer Reeves assaulted a 14-year-old girl in the parking lot right over there.
He seems to be everywhere.
Yeah, he's got 2 other people that he's been following around town and harassing.
I just had a restraining order served to me. I was out in Tillamook River fishing. Minding my business. The cop pulls up on me and hands me a restraining order. Looking for you. Hands me copies. He doesn't hand me the original or anything. He gives me copies. It's for Seaside. Now my vehicle's broke. I'm like, what the fuck? Rosie, come here. Come here. Now. Come here. Now.
I got a busted vehicle myself. Lucky for me, it's not so busted I can't use it. I just gotta open up the hood and start it with a screwdriver.
Right. Oh, I blew mine up. Sitting with my storage door open, sitting in front of my storage unit, with all kinds of shit sitting out. I gotta find somebody to haul some stuff over here. They're gonna have a sale over here at a buddy of mine's and a friend of mine's house. I gotta start selling my shit to.
I remember what I was saying about the dogs in the cars. It's not just the fact that if you get arrested, they get arrested. It's also the fact that you have to pay attention to them at all points in time. If you're able to walk around in the woods with a backpack on, you don't need that car. It's not a big thing. But if you don't have a good back, it's essential.
I used to live in the woods. I can't hardly even go out by myself anymore.
I'm able to drive out there, but I can't get as far back as my camp is because the guy who originally helped me to set up the camp, he's like 68 years old. He's almost 70. Man, he got all of my stuff moved back into that camp in the amount of time it took me to come back down, get a load, and head back up there. But then that's when he showed me where his camp is. He's like, yeah, I've camped here 3 years in a row. And I get back there, and he's got like this nice clearing area set up. And he's got a bunch of stuff in there, but it's like 80 yards back into it. So like, how am I supposed to get back there? And when I do finally get back there, I got to sit there for an hour and rest. Well, she's scary looking. People see those on TV all the time. They're mean dogs on TV.
We got her. It wasn't intended. She actually adopted me. A couple homeless kids. I was going to pick her up down at the dog park. Somebody was going to abandon her. She was too much of a handful for me. Get back here. And so I took these homeless kids down to pick her up. And she, really rambunctious. So I took them up to their camp up in Miami. They jumped out, took her leash off, threw it over by the firewood pile. She jumped out, looked around their campsite, went over, grabbed her leash, jumped back up in the car. Fuck it, I'm staying here. Well, they'd been fighting. So I told him, I said, well, you know, you guys, you kind of got some things you got to work out. I said, why don't you let me take her with me and I'll go cannon tonight. Be a good cannon partner. So we did, you know, we went cannon the night. Next morning, I still had her and I called my lady. I said, I got a problem. This pit bull, don't bring it here. Let's go up got it. Can't drop her up anywhere, you know. I can't go to Miami right now. So I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring her there. She was living over at Bed. I said, I'm going to bring her home. I'll take a heater out and put it in the car and I'll start the car with her. I'm not going to just push her off like that. I said, I've already been kicked around enough.
You know, it's all them false charges and stuff that prevent us from ever having a future once we're homeless.
Yeah.
And most people don't realize that there's 5 hate crimes against homeless people for every 1 hate crime committed against someone else.
Yep.
And that's not even counting police interaction. And the police are the majority of our predators.
I know.
I mean, most of the people that drive by, sure, we get the Karens that call the police, but the police are going to come harass us. Whereas if we call the police, they try to talk us out of turning it in. They talk over any of the important details and then tell us we haven't told them anything.
So much for it. Cut the fucking bullshit. I already know what time it is. I'm not playing their games. I'm not answering the questions the way you want me to answer them.
Well, I always followed rule number 1 to the best of my abilities. Rule number 1, you don't talk to cops. They're not your friends. But also, when my friends were molested or their kids were molested or my friends ended up dead, I always cried.
1996 out here, right across from where the jail is now. I had a 36-gun standoff with the sheriff's department, and police, and city police. 36 guns pointed at me. I only had one. They don't like it, and they was my friends. They were friends that I grew up with, went to school with, and all became cops, you know. And when they fucking finally got me, except for one of them that was pretty close friend of mine. We grew up since first grade. He came up and he stood right in front of me. There's a screen between us. Screen window. And it's just, you take a gun off, belt, half it, and you become one. Let me walk around with dignity. He says, they're gonna kill you. I don't get what do you come here for? Yes, then I did. I went and got this many. Then I could have popped in. They have to on which one. He's getting mad right there. Never did. I gave him my full trust. And as soon as I fucking put my gun down and unlocked the front door, I heard him coming through the back door. I'll tell you, brother, when they get a hold of you after a gun incident, they each take a turn at you.
Well, they
My
ain't.
dad, my sister stood right there and watched all these fucking cops kick the shit out of them. There you go.
That's something I got to worry about here. I'm not in good with the cops here. They were stealing drugs from the evidence locker and distributing it to the homeless out here. And they got busted on one end. The FBI, whatever, the state police are getting the FBI involved to investigate them. But I'm like, I got a whole YouTube channel full of 11 months of them doing it. Not just, you know, what they're doing, but also the people they're giving it to, when they gave it to them, why it was given to them.
We're set up bust.
Partially, that's also the reason they have so many pedophiles in the area that they're gonna bust. They're just trying to get them to roll.
Some of them top shots.
Some of it.
Quit it!
I lost a lot of my friends to that. Like it sucks because most of them are good people, like genuine good people. Big difference between good and nice. Used car salesman is nice.
You won't give me my receipt.
Jesus was good, but he chased people with a whip. I know how to make firearms. I know how to make RPGs. I know how to make shape charges. I know how to make my own explosives, but that was from growing up in Nebraska.
I love playing with pyrotechnics.
Yep. A lot of people do. But I never have a gun. I don't own a gun. I don't carry guns. And the reason for that is because people will use that as an excuse to kill you. And then they go, oh, well, he was mentally ill and he had a gun.
I own 2 crossbows and a pellet rifle.
I have
That's what I can legally own.
I have 2 slingshots in my car.
I got a slingshot in my wrist rocket.
I also have a bow and arrow, but I can't pull the bow back. It's only a 35-pounder, and I still can't pull it back. Yeah, when I screwed up my back, I screwed it up good, and then the cops helped to screw it up more. Well, I guess I better get back to the world, or I'll sit here and talk to you all day.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go find a piece of cardboard and sit with a sign or do something.
I usually sit over there. It's Saturday. I usually wait till Sunday, because on Sundays people kick down all right.
Yeah.
The rest of the week people forget they're Christian.
I know. Isn't that something? I've only held the signs twice, and I wasn't successful once.
I follow the Jesus, not the Bible, not the religion.
I follow my heart.
You have one of those?
I have.
I thought all of us out here on the streets were heartless drug addicts who are out to destroy everyone's life.
Long before the world I know tore it all apart. 5-finger death punch.
Yep. Mine's made of glass.
There was a part of me that cared. Years before they took away the part of me that cared.
How many pieces of your heart do you give out before you don't have any left for yourself, right?
You know, I've literally gotten into 5-finger death punch because of the music and the meaning of it.
You're too old to be listening to that kind of music, and I'm offended.
Are you?
No.
Oh, man. Anything that pertains to what my life has been.
I'm offended by child molesters. I'm offended by rapists. I'm offended by murderers. I'm offended by bad cops. I'm not offended by people listening to music. Wait, you better not listen to rap, because if you listen to rap, then you're out to destroy people's lives. And you better not listen to rock and roll either.
What time's breakfast? Thought I was kidding. No, yeah.
Well, I don't mind bringing you some food. I just don't have any for the dog.
That's who I was.
Now, I was looking at some of the RPGs that they're using, some of the ones from the IRA in the 90s, and then the Matador, stuff like that. And I realized that the stuff that they're putting in the back of those things is, what do they call that? A counterweight? They could use dog food, or even better yet, cat food, because it comes in the little X's. It's super lightweight. It'll disperse the energy quickly, and then you don't get a 35-meter blast area in the back. You only end up with about a 2 to 3 meter blast area at most.
Well, what do you think, honey? We go move, do something?
Yeah, you don't want to hang out with people who talk about explosives but don't own any.
I never said I didn't own any.
Oh, I was talking about me not owning any. I like going shooting.
Always got something to close up.
But one thing I always loved more than shooting guns was fixing them. Because shooting them, it's kind of all right, but it's obnoxious. But repairing them, that's where it's really at. Like, I get to get into the intricacies of it. I get to fix stuff. When I lived in Nebraska, Cabela's had a 2-year waiting list for their gun repairs. So a lot of people would come to me, and they'd have a POS Mossberg that they threw down in the dirt last year. They're like, oh yeah, I finally got a pheasant. They throw it down in the dirt. They get dirt and grass all up in the action, and then they forget about it for a year. So.
Mr. Hanky, what are you doing? You're still up and around, huh? It's good to see you. He's been a circuit court judge. He was a circuit court judge, sentenced me my first time. I love the man to death.
What's his name?
Judge Hanky?
Judge Hanky?
Yeah.
Is he still a judge here?
No, he retired years ago.
Well, the fact that he sentenced you makes me like him. No offense.
I love the man to death. That's why I had to cut you off there, because I've seen him coming, and I very rarely see him out and about.
When people were telling me that Officer Reeves was a good officer, all 6 of the people that told me that he was a good cop, immediately the stories they told me to verify he was a good cop are all felonies for a cop to do.
Yeah.
And I went, that's not a good cop. When you tell me that a judge sentenced you for something, I'm like, well, that judge done his job.
Oh, he done his job. He didn't like doing the sentence either.
But you also, I'm sure that if it was something that you didn't do, you'd have said that because you started off with admitting that you get locked up with stuff you didn't do.
Uh-huh.
You're not pretty though, so that's kind of par for the course.
Exactly.
I'm a little jealous though. You got more hair on your head than I do.
Not much. You got more in the back. Matter of fact, I just tried cutting my hair the other night.
I noticed. That's why you got a funky
I've been working on it
tuft.
for 2 days with my goddamn mustache trimmer. Battery finally ran dead, and I was fuck it.
I've had those days where I've been there with a comb and a bic,
Yeah.
getting my hair wet and to cut my hair.
Instead of washing clothes, I went and bought a new change of clothes. I'm gonna shave, clean up, look decent. Clothes are dirty again before I can get cleaned up.
Well, if you're gonna come up here, actually come up here.
Oh, start beating right at the perfect time.
Oh, I don't like you like that.
Settle down.
Or my 540. Wow.
You're tickling me.
Stop. He'd try to take you with him until he had to feed you.
My last dog was a Great Dane Saint Bernard.
What's the point in having that nice fancy lockbox over there if it isn't open?
Oh, what was your name again?
Tim.
Tim? I'm Sean. It's good to meet you. And thank you for coming to visit me, Miss Rosie. What's his name?
Brutus.
Brutus.
Yeah.
He looks like a Caesar killer.
He's a Brutus. He's my stress factor. My other one, my white one I had, she was my stress animal, stress relief. And she done great. As soon as she passed away, he's been trying to take her place. But
There was two Brutuses in Julius Caesar's life. One of them was for him and one of them was against him. And both of them took part in stabbing him to death.
really,
Yeah. Brutus is a great name for a tiny dog.
Oh yeah.
I don't know when I named him that. He was just so tiny. And then a neighbor of mine, I got pissed off. I actually ended a friend. He told me that's an oxymoron name. Fuck you, man. Get out of here. Had him 11 years.
Rosie, you're not being ignored.
Now this is gonna sound really ridiculous, but I have
Be safe, Tim. It's good to meet
All
you.
right, Ray.
Jesus loves me, this I know. Oh wow, it's still going. I figured it would have cut out by now. All right. Alright, so I got my coffee. Miriam, the last 3 or 4 times I've gone in there, I've complained that she always gets my name right. She doesn't spell it wrong. And it's unfair. She doesn't mistake me for a SEAN, blah, blah, blah. Well,